saw on Dust 2, he played so well. But Dancy's is that secondary AWP, and he plays it very, very well. He's the AWPer that he lets people to walk into his scope. He doesn't miss. He's not fancy with the AWP, but he doesn't miss. We saw on B side, those players kept walking into his scope. He's not like Shaney, who'll push for the frags. As you saw him go towards long.
It's that comparison, though, that makes it so lethal at times.
Exactly.
Right?
They have
a
the
nice
aggressive.
balance.
It's like Fallen and Cold Zero. Fallen the more, well, when they both are potentially passive, and then Cold Zero goes for his aggressive picks. Similarly here, we shall be seeing potentially the double AWPs. So the problem is don't catch 2 AWPs isn't really too good, because if you do start losing rounds, your money just gets absolutely wrecked.
Hot and cold, fire and ice. The comparison's ever so distinct.
Wet and noodles.
Gone back to the wet noodles. Love it. Well, it's about time we got into this. We have ourselves a knife round result.
Wait, Xenex won that?
Just gonna wait and
Wasn't
see.
that a 3 versus 1?
I didn't actually check the knife round, to be fair. It's not really something that we...
I was about to say, I was literally about to say, oh, uFrag won. I'm an idiot. Sorry, the names, the names have switched round. Wow, John, the BM's real.
Gotta love John.
Anyway.
Wow. That was said. uFrag
Smoke him
on the CT side, Xenex over on the T
Whoa,
side.
shush, calm down for 1 second, mate. Smoke already being used, actually. So remember you're going for that smoke diffuse. Instead, we're seeing the fast speed play, but we've already got 3 players here. Look where Hype is. He's in the corner. He's in that lungy corner. First frag, Pommy finds it. Instant replay, though. Hype as well. And create these boxes at these off angles. They're not expected positions, and they catch these players off guard.
Yeah, great round coming out from uFrag. A quick and nice and overall very plentiful CT side start from them, and this is the momentum they need to kick off a roadshow for them as Xenex now have to decide, do they want to respond? Are they going to sit on tight? How do they want to approach this? Because it is going to be some Tech 9 to scout into the hands of Shaney, and arguably the aggressive route they have opted for.
Xenex on the force behind the scout. We saw the scout play so much of a role in the previous map, especially from Dancy's. He's so good at that scout. He loves buying it. But anyway, it's on Shaney now. Should get boosted up and we'll peek towards connector. Oh, so close there. You actually don't see it on my screen because I'm watching the second monitor, but that was very close to being the first frag on the round as Shaney just missed Adam.
So close, but so far at the end of the day,
Anyway.
which is still not a frag, and it's damage to be inflicted, which has value in itself, but that's a commodity, and commodities, they're traded. And that's something we are going to need to see from the CT side, as Dom is going to be in a bit of a rough one here. The nade is going to be dropped defensively. He finds the first pick on towards Peggy Cray. Going to combine their crossfire, and we talk about trading. Well, there you have it. This is going to be somewhat premature, but still does the job. Dances with the deagle, though, to start to push things back as he finds a frag on towards Hype. But Cray doing so much work over towards Speedway as he nets himself that first pick, let alone the damage on towards JT, and bit by bit making this one just a much
He needs to get
tougher
aggressive here.
task.
Shaney needs to get aggressive. He wants any chance of winning this. Finds the frag onto Adam. The 1 versus 2. Low HP on Cray. Can he stay alive? The bomb isn't planted for him, however. Cray will completely demolish him. Bomb is defused. 2-0 for uFrag. Good start here. Finally a pistol going in their favor as well. Didn't touch on this, but in the previous map it was both pistols going in favor of Xenex. And now we're going to see if Xenex can claw back from being in the deficit. So the money on uFrag. It's decent. They'll buy into this one. So the next one they'll have potentially the M4s if they want to throw away these SMGs. The question is, do they hold on to the UMPs and try and get aggressive towards Squeaky, B-main in this close quarters areas? Do they opt to drop the SMGs and just fall out by those rifles? And if they do, how much money will they lose? Oh my goodness, Hype though. Plus 1, plus 2. Can he get any more? 3! Doesn't get the 4th though. Shaney finds 2 frags. Already a good start for him, and he's been playing phenomenal so far this best of 2. The bomb does go down, but look at the utility they have. Absolutely 0. And the same goes for their armor.
Certainly has got to be said. Xenex, they got the bomb down, which for them is a win. Hype, he may have had a nice swap, may have been a whole lot of flair added to the round, but still, a bomb plant is found, and that in my book's a win for Xenex. uFrag, they will at least mop things up and they're going to get that defused, but the money on Xenex is now going to be just that tiny bit higher, which is going to have a huge effect if they go into their buy round.
Now the money is very strong on uFrag. All those kills from Hype though with that SMG. I mean, it's such a clean round from uFrag. Even though the bomb did go down. For Xenex, we're going to be seeing the AWP on Shaney. And the double up, here we go. This is the double up that I was talking about. Will Hype opt to play aggressive? I feel like he should, because if Shaney plays towards A and mid, which he is indeed. Will he find the frag? Yes, he does. Is he going to reface though? Adam's throwing a Molotov. That could have been very bad. But only 1 frag. With 1 minute 30 on the clock. Shaney wants another try at this one.
He's somewhat hungry. He doesn't quite have the knowledge that someone is going to be close there, but he's going to peek it, catches off his shoulder, and it's going to be a scalping. Just enough to really cement a lead. Adam is going to find himself the trade finally, but only to a one-man matchup, as it is still going to be a one-man disadvantage for the side of uFrag, but Adam at least making things nice and much more contestable as the push coming in towards A main will begin to formulate pressure on towards Dom's shoulders. Surely has an idea that a push may begin to come his direction, and that's why he's getting himself much more comfortable on the site. For now, it comes down to when does Xenex want to bite the bullet? When do they want to go as that door
Adam's
has been
rotating.
opened?
They have, look at the utility as well. The T's have so many nades.
Well, the CT side have information as well, which is most important.
Yeah, they do, but look where Hype is. He's on such a long rotate with an off. Let's see what happens. Dom finds one, but the mollies and the flashes and everything going in favour right now of the T's because it's a one-man lead for Xenex. Adam holding the angle onto the site. Will a player come forward if he's risking this? Finds one. Will he push the smoke?
Be heading over towards Forkler, just dancing a dance.
Oh,
It's going to be ever
pushed
so
it.
uncomfortable, somehow getting away with this as Hype finds the pick on towards Shaney. Pickles, though, reverses it, snaps on towards its head, and it puts us in a 1v1. Adam still left standing, and he has a chance to push this one even further. 20 seconds. Pickles has to play into his hands. Adam, USP in hand, looking to make it work with just a pistol at this point. Doesn't quite want to risk it with that AWP. As he's still dancing ever so comfortably over towards Quad, but who is going to come trumps with Pickles? He catches the shot, and from there, continues to spray, and that will net him the win required. Not quite going to get a bomb plant, but a win nonetheless. And it ushers Xenex onto the board.
Shaney, 2 early frags in mid. That player crouching behind sandbags, holding the angle as if they push out. That's fine. The problem is, though, you need to be standing. Because that way, what Shaney did there does not happen. He squats the shoulder and rips it clean off.
Early damage to be put straight through the metal sheeting over on mid. So Cray going to be knocked down just a tad. Nothing too major, but still knocked down to 76 HP. So value left to be claimed. Of course, the rest of the CT side are going to begin to set themselves up with a bit of aggression. And Adam, a long-range CZ shot. Now, that's not something you see every single day.
Something you don't see every day as well is a force buy from uFrag.
Yeah, it's certainly a welcome change. Molotov is going to go in towards Ent's forces, Pommy out of position. JT now looking to make a play off the back of that, gets spotted out by Adam over towards mid. Cray now looking to use that to his advantage as he will take the fight and gets the reward. JT will fall dancing with a trade. Dom with the ADP yet again over towards Quad. Now they're standing, looking for just another to add up on towards this body count, which is ever so growing. How far is he willing to go?
Pickles does have the Molotov. Instead of Dancy's facing. What is the reply there from Pommy? Pickles in the 1 versus 3. Has the bomb. Pommy wins it 4-1. uFrag win the force buy. And now we're seeing Xenex money in tatters. Peggy's on 1.4k, so they might have to force buy this.
Yeah, the reset was just, it's so brutal to them at this point. With uFrag well and truly breaking through the red band, and from there, Xenex kind of left sitting down and going, okay, this was not the start we expected off the back of how well they were doing on Dust 2.
Yep.
uFrag can contesting them very well, and now for Xenex, it's all in towards B. It can go one of two directions, especially with how much damage Pommy's inflicting. Look at their HP. Pommy, a double kill for him. Hype going to burn away through the smoke. Pommy now with the USP looking to put the final nail in the coffin. And there you have it. Xenex, have fun paying those funeral bills.
Another eco coming from Xenex here. They won the AWP and they want the utility. This could show or be a sign that they might go for an execute towards A maybe. We've seen them do it earlier before with the Molotovs and the flashes. It did work out for them. The problem is though, the flashes are what are the most important thing right now because they know Dom is AWPing towards A, but Pickles faces early on. No one's watching mid. Adam Kobe's him and gets the instant reply, but this is a 4 versus 4. Peggy and Dancy for the Deagle. This is scary. Actually playing retake here. Cray's only got an AK, so gonna have to be spraying these players down, but Adam is on the rotate to highway, whiffs the spray initially, but does find a frag, and a second one and a third on the unarmored opponents. JT in the 1 versus 4 now. Just trying to take a few guns out of their hands. I don't really see him winning this in any word, shape, or of the form. Anyway, right now it's going to be Adam Singer 8 frags. It's more than he had in the previous whole game. Only 8 rounds in, so great play from him so far. Can he carry it through for the rest of this map? Right now it's uFrag sitting at 6-1. Maybe I was the problem on the CT side.
Snods, he was the problem. This is the improvement. uFrag up to 6-1 at this point. You talk about frags in the last map, and it certainly has got to be said that Adam, just because he has 8 frags in the last map, it's about impact at the end of the day.
Yeah,
which I can't comment
they
on
were
that.
ecos, but at the end of the day, frags are frags, and sometimes they can lead to confidence, and you can see it right here, playing aggressive for the boost. I don't think Piggy heard it, but he's watching for it, and now Pommy...
Timing. Granted an opportunity. Some second thoughts will be had, and Peggy just there to
Who's
almost
gonna win
caress
it?
the angle.
The molly comes out. Does he face now that he knows the players have a molly in their hands? He's burning alive! Faces and actually wins it! Pommy manages to peg Peggy.
The fact that Pommy gets away with that on 5 HP just works it out just enough to give him the time to play back through that Molotov, as that could have killed him right there and then. So incredibly smart stuff coming out from him.
5 HP. Calculated.
Such an advantage. Calculated, certainly has to be said. Xenex begin to set themselves up. An alluring strategy that consists of hitting that B site hard and fast and just not quite stopping. But you have to look at the CT side setup. This is almost ready and waiting. uFrag in this case have not fallen hook, line and sinker. If anything, the real trap is set to the T side as they begin their push. And the CT side going to do their job. Well, so far so good. Dom and Pommy, they combine. They find themselves picked respectively. Hype going to look to drop them dead, and the spray down for him. Great work coming in from uFrag yet again. And Xenex, they thought they had the upper hand, but in fact they were being played all along.
Maybe the pressure's getting to them right now, because if they win this map, they do make the playoffs. But at the moment, it's not looking too good.
7-1 now. We made this comment on Train, various maps in the past as well. When is that lining that says Xenex, the value is over, now you really have to start doing something or it is going to get too far?
If uFrag reach double digits here and get 3 more rounds, and they will be getting this one potentially because the unarmored opponents may just mean it might be a clean free round here for uFrag, and that's actually going to be 2 already on the board. JT is trying to find a reply. Does dink up Pommy quite low, 25 HP. Still pushing towards highway now, sees where Dom is, but from that nade, he gets a nice headshot there. Can he get any more? No, he can't, because he's instantly traded up by Hype. Now it's a 2 versus 4. Shaney with the deagle, trying to find anything he can, but doesn't net anything. And Peggy jumping in midair, but unfortunately, Adam's on the ball this game. Takes down Peggy. 8-1. Oh, and support's coming out. This is tactical.
It's got to be tactical at this point, and the timing, yeah, again, maybe a bit too far into things, but nonetheless, still an opportunity and a very clear one at that for them to bring things back. But here's an interesting topic for you then, and we talk about this quite a lot in various different contexts.
Yep.
You know, I'm trying to come up with a solution for Xenex right now in terms of going, okay, you know, if I was standing behind them, what would I say?
A site, in my opinion.
I'd actually lean towards that. I'd say I want to see a proper execute, because it doesn't really feel like we've really seen something that involves actual calculated smokes, you know, such as quad corner, actually playing around something up towards railings on heaven, actually just blocking off these positions. What it feels like they're doing is just throwing, okay, we're going to do this execute that involves a lot of Molotovs and a lot of flashes, but the smokes seem to be a bit all over the place. And one
It's
key
the
thing,
flashes as well.
it's that quad cross that's constantly been shutting them down.
Well,
They've just left it unsmoked. They've always been Molotoving it.
They've seen Dom been AWPing on A site a fair few times towards quad. Smoke highway, have the player squeaky, smoke quad. It's not really too needed, but personally, I wouldn't do the quad smoke, because what it means is all Dom has to do is put out his CZ and then have players jump through a smoke into his spray. Unless they flash, which hopefully they do.
Well, that's the big point in itself, really, isn't it? It's not that there's not different options. There are multiple different ways they can take the A site. It's about them really coming up with something different than what they're doing currently, because right now, it has to be said, they're still leaving those windows open.
Interestingly as well, the utility, and they've got so many rounds on the board. If Xenex did go for the A site execute, uFrag could potentially play a retake and still win it.
Well, when you word it like that, it certainly is almost an agreeable point as well, because you have to remember, uFrag, they are a team that once they can get themselves going, when does the brakes finally get placed on for them? As right now, their pedals, well, or their feet, sorry, should we say, well and truly full speed.
I mean, we saw Xenex win both pistols in the previous map, and you can see how the momentum is instantly taken away from them as soon as they don't have those pistol rounds, the momentum from said pistol rounds behind them. Instead, they're looking at a 7-round deficit. Money is good. Look at Peggy hasn't bought yet. The question is, do they buy the AWP? That's what they're talking about right now. Is Shane's AWP worth the investment? In my eyes, yes it is, because the 1 round they have is the 1 round Shane got the 2 kills. You know you're playing against heavy AWPers. Do you opt to buy the AWP and try to challenge them, or buy the AKs and try and do the execute? And I believe Yeah, Peggy bought AK, so potentially seeing more of an execute-based style, not going for the picks, maybe even play fast. We could see a fast set play here. But the players are ready and the round does go live. This is the round that can really change the half and the whole game and the whole season for Xenex.
Here we go. We're about to get straight back into this one. Xenex, of course, pressure well and truly on their shoulders. Let's hope they can plug those cracks, as they well and truly need to, if they want to put themselves back in a position that is worth fighting for. 5 flat rifles, as mentioned, a utility in their back pockets. Pommy already looking to go aggressive and shut down Darcy's, and they're going to do it to almost perfection. With one man already left to fall. Shaney going to be looking for one of his own. Very still spread out style coming from Xenex, almost a bit of a default and standard. Eventually going to get themselves ready to push on towards this B site, and it is just one man, but the rotate, it's going to be quick enough to buy them enough time. Adam, he's over towards CT. He's ready and waiting.
This is the X girls talking about. Molly's come through, but there's no flash right now. That's what happens. Adam, that's a nice shot there from Pickles. Adam falls, and right now Hype does as well. Shenny finds that frag onto Hype. It's the 4 versus 3. Low HP Dom. AWP as well, but the Molotovs, look at all those nades they have. They can flush out so many points here, so many angles, but instead Dom shot peek towards the B-bomb site. And smartly, that's the next player. Flashes before he peeks into Dom's AWP. And at this point, you 8-1 up. Just save your economy, and Pommy gets sprayed through the smoke, and Dom tries to do what he can, but tags that player instead. Shaney stays alive, and it will be the save.
Unfortunately, tagging and damage is just not quite enough in that
Yeah,
scenario.
big difference there.
You need a little bit more than just to tag someone down, because, you know, Pickles, you can get knocked down to 30 HP. What does that change? They've still got the bomb down. It's still going to be eventually leading to a point of inevitable explosion, and from there, Xenex, they still get the round. So at the end of the day, uFrag, their economy, much more valuable.
Yeah, especially on the CT side as well. Having the AWPs, because they have been running the double AWP setup, and it has been working very well for them. Dom still has the AWP. Will Adam buy one for himself, or will they stick to 4 rifles and 1 AWP? And then begs the question, does Dom throw the AWP over to Adam? But instead, we are seeing Adam on the rifle and on the AWP. How will Dom play? Let's see, he's going towards mid now. He's actually the solo mid player. We're going to be seeing 3 towards B. They're trying to get early map control. I do like this, actually. JT may be caught off guard, or will he step up to the moment? Fight 1! Can he get any more points? 2, and that player's low. Adam's only on 7 HP right now. He's going to face. Does he get it? Yes, he does. That's 3 frags for JT. We might be seeing 8-3 right now, because it's going to be Pickles pushing in towards Checkers now, trying to find anything else. Dom on the rotate though, but he's smoked off. Just the player doesn't quite hit that flick. That's, oh my god, did he tag him? He's only 2 HP, I'm not too sure, but anyway. Doesn't get that frag. Peggy finds him. Hype through the vent wall. Finds JT. We've seen him do a 1 versus 5 before. But this is something else.
It's a whole different affair, a whole different site, a whole different
bowl
map.
of noodles.
As his work is going to be well and truly cut out for him, and he's going to be backstabbed from behind as Darcy's
The spray on the body as well. Trying to get into the head.
really going to lay all that lead down. And this is kind of the big point that we're trying to make in terms of economy. Now, as much as people may look at them and go, guys, they have 10k economy, why are you saying that uFrag are going to be in a struggling point? Well, the reasoning behind that is that, look at it now. Look at it after they've had to buy it again going into this round. That 10, that 11k, it rapidly runs out, and it gets to a point where they will...
Especially when you have 2 AWPs.
Especially when you have a double AWP setup, because that's just even more costly.
Two AWPs on the CT side means they shall play passive. Hype flash off the angles. Going to see Dom on the rifle. He was playing well with the AWP, to be fair, but unfortunately for him, he didn't really get too much done with it. And now he's on the A-bomb site alone. They spot popping events. He does play there quite a lot. Whenever I cast him, I always see him in events. So we might see JT line up on Molly here. Actually, doesn't have a Molly. I take that back. One of these T players might line up on Molly towards Pommy, but anyway. The flash towards mid comes out, but there's still nothing to come about from it. Dances open squeaky door spots. I think the flash comes out towards quad. Let's see if he can capitalize off this. Pushing onto the side, finds the spray onto Dom. Any more? Yes, he does! Finds the second kill, then it's going to be the 5 versus 3. Pommy has to try and take away my moment there. Makes it a 4 versus 3 now. Kits on through these players, but the utility is fairly low as they don't have any smokes, and JT finds 1. Hype with the AWP, finds a kill. Oh my god, he doesn't actually look like he was dead on him.
Might have been dead on him, but it wasn't quite precise enough, as it won't quite find the frag. And from there, things rapidly begin to dwindle down to the same old whittling point. Xenex, they're going to get themselves just another round. Get on towards the 4th at that, and you got to look at this and go, okay, uFrag, they built up so much, but they didn't get to double digits. That was the real narrative that we hit towards. Xenex, they're now on 4. We could be looking at them to keep up a good fight.
It can still be 11-4, but right now the momentum is in favour of Xenex.
It has been back-to-back rounds, though, and that's got to be said.
Hyper stays alive with the AWP. still 3 more rounds to play. Look at the money.
It just keeps on whittling down.
They had 10k in the previous round, and now buying those 2 orbs, that's 9 or 8,750 or so dollars worth of investment. You can see them are now 2,000 or so. 8-4. Xenex with the momentum for sure, and now Shaney has the orb. But he's going to be battling versus 2. Adam trying to get aggressive towards A, but he's flashed off the angle. So now he shall hold a more passive one towards quad, but right now there's no T players to find or to give away their life. We're still seeing the slow play coming out. And with 2 orbs, hopefully one of these might get aggressive eventually in the mid-round. Try and make it a 4 versus 5 in their favor, because in the retakes, double orb setup isn't going to work for them. Unless some very good mechanics come out. And if they lose this, they're on the reset. And we could be looking at 8-6, maybe even 9-6. Or sorry, 8-7. Still though, uFrag have won the half. It's going into the next half. On their T side, we saw what happened on Dust 2. The T side wasn't quite strong enough, and that was on their map pick. We don't know about their cash play just yet. Tommy trying to see if he can find anything through the smoke, but there's nothing there. And these players are slowly shifting into Hype's orb.
He's going to set himself up now to go for that first shot as he moves himself over towards the back lines of the B site. But his guy's work cut out for him and needs that crossfire from heaven to be well and truly intact and done right, because if it fails, Hype's job increases exponentially, but he finds himself that first pick. Peggy, though, looking for a double kill. Cray is going to punish Dancy's on towards Hype, but they don't quite get enough, and it's going to be an extra awkward predicament for them at this point, as Xenex took a while for them to commit, but they finally got themselves onto the site. The uFrag there ready and waiting, but Shaney back on towards Cray yet again.
And now there's no one watching Vent.
Ready and waiting to drop down in towards Vent. As you mentioned, there is no greeting party there to meet. But something tells me at some point we are going to see that position get changed up from Shaney, which is what's going to be the case, but Pickle's not quite clocking onto the fact that angle is open. That enables Adam to get something done, but Pommy, blind and confused, peeks dead set in towards Dancy. Shaney gets the easy pick on towards Adam. And uFrag, they had a chance, but it still gets pulled out from right underneath the feet as Xenex, should we say, keep on pushing forward. And I've got to say, as much as I want to look towards the second half and see if uFrag can do it at T side, the biggest thing for me right now is that there's such a vast difference between a 10-5 and what this 8-7 could be, because it's the momentum going into that second half. It's whether Xenex actually have a lot more rounds to play with. And for uFrag, yes, they got to 8, but they have struggled to move past that. That has been the invisible barrier that has kept them locked down.
I mean, you have 8 rounds. You've already won the half. Maybe they got a bit too comfortable. Maybe they tried to change what was working for them. And that change of pace has definitely gone in favor right now of Xenex, as they do have all the momentum in this half. As of right now, Dom pushing towards a main. I like this. But what I won't like is if he dies right now, because Shaney's holding that ankle, finds the frag, 5 versus 4. Cray's going to go for the peak as well. Oh, that nade might just kill Pickles. Oh, it does. Shaney dies. Pickles was tagged up as well, but he does still have his life. All 45 of it.
So next they begin to formulate themselves up towards a pretty structured A-site push. What is the end goal of this? Because right now we've seen sort of the starter where they get themselves in position to throw some utility, get some smokes out and such, but really it's very unclear what that end segment is going to be. Are they just going to push out through a main and split on through? Well, that's what we're seeing. They're going over towards Forklift, but Adam cracked straight on towards the cranium of Pickles. Dancy gets a 2k, but it's not quite enough. Hyper 3k picked up for himself. JT going to steal it on away though as he shuts him down. It leaves us back pitted in a 1v1. JT versus Pommy. 2 incredibly talented players, 2 known for their ability to potentially clutch out these rounds, and it all comes down to just that potential. That is the buzzword of the moment as Posy going to begin to move himself up close and personal, diving around this red container, gets the elevated angle, so should have the opportunity for a jump here, but JT times it perfectly and gets the shot right on the head of Pommy, and that is the target he so desperately needed. Xenex now on 6, and look at the economy of uFrag.
Pommy, not quite known for his clutches, as you just said there.
I've seen him do some pretty nutty stuff in the past.
I feel like Pommy's impact's so good in the early to mid round. The problem is he's playing versus JT, and in my eyes, if you want anyone clutching for Xenex, it's JT or Dancy's. And JT pulls through and wins that 1 versus 1. And now Shaney boost on mid, can he find the frag? Oh, spots the player though. He knows there's one connector. But does he know there's one close to him underneath him? Peggy finds the frag onto Hype. This push B doesn't work because Adam pulls back, but Hype is still in full force. And we might be seeing 8-7 if this round unfolds as it should do. When you look at the firepower on the Pharmacies and the CZ versus the Orb, And 4 AKs.
It's almost a throwback to that turning point of the 8th or even 7th round of that, where we started talking about the possibility of an 8-7. Well, here's the realization of that, as we're in the 15th round. There's only two ways this can go, as already Pickles is going to find that first shot on towards Dom. Peggy with a second on towards Adam, and bit by bit, uFrag their CT side.
Again, though.
Well, diminishing returns. 2 players remaining. Over towards CT is one. You know that ready to come in through a main. And Pommy, if he's not quick enough, he's going to be caught by the AWP, and well, he's just too damn slow. Shaney there to pick him off.
Yep.
Great over towards CT. Body left of one car, and there's the 8-7.
Again, though, Adam makes the call to push A main, but he's 3 or so seconds behind his teammate, and that is a massive difference in Counter-Strike. Every second matters, and right now, it's 8-7. 15 rounds have been played out, and this pistol could really determine the half. Will we see the momentum pivot towards uFrag, and will they go in the lead once again, as they did in the first half? Xenex is the win pistol. We could be looking at 10-8. And at that point, it really does come down to that first gun round.
In terms of a predictive point of view, I am leaning towards Xenex at this point, because uFrag, the way things have gone so far, it's been so uncomfortable. Shaney, what a way to start. A clean shot at that on towards Adam, very surgical in the way he's approaching it, and from there, well, they can begin to maneuver themselves to go for just a comfortable CT side setup. They're waiting for uFrag to come on through, and, well, it's almost just a Christmas present come early, that first pick.
So, the idea of this strat, wall of soaks mid, block the vision for that player that was Shaney in mid, go fast vent and split B. Problem is, if you peek before the smokes land, there's not really much point in throwing them.
It's nice from Cray, though, to get himself in towards connector, because he's trying to fix what just didn't quite work. But Shaney, again, just flicks back with the surgical gloves and punishes Cray for trying to make a play, trying to fix what didn't quite work. And, well, now it's a 2-man disadvantage for uFrag. Something's exponentially growing as now they pivot. They go over towards the A site. Shaney now looking to land even more shots. Just another on towards Pommy. Pickle. He's going to find one on towards Dom. Hype, the first frag to be claimed for uFrag. But he's also the last man remaining, and Darcy's more than happy to end his life in a swift fashion.
1 pistol in favor of uFrag, 1 pistol in favor of Xenex right now, 1-1, 8-8. This is a very, very close game, but right now Xenex win the pistol, so we should be seeing them go to 10-8 as long as no mishaps happen. Do uFrag go for the force pipe? Generally don't see it, and it's looking like with 4 Glocks they won't be. We saw on the first map, they did this exact same thing, and then following around they bought Galils to try and catch the CTs off guard. But I don't think Xenex can be caught off guard once again. But swap out that round, Shenny pre-firing the mid, pre-firing that mid-main position, kills Adam. And stops that round, and now looking after what's happened after the pistol round. No armor on these players. Just an easy maul for these SMGs. Adam's trying to get another frag. He actually does. Didn't get any more though. Spraying. Runs out of bullets. Both of these players run out of bullets actually. Shaney gets a nice $300 then. A nice headshot onto Adam. 9-8. Did they go for that Galil Force again? It worked from the first game, but Xenex were caught off guard. Will they be caught off guard again? This is a hard call for Adam.
It's got to be predictable.
It's
That's got to be the card to be played here. It's just something that when you do it in the first map of a series, it's always going to be in the back of the mind of your opposition in that second map. So I can certainly agree with Adam in this play. It's smart for them to sit back. They have certainly some rounds to play. The difference is by all means just a couple of rounds at that potentially, as it's looking like it is going to be shaping up to be that 10-8.
Is he caught another one?
And Adam get away with just another Glock frag. 3 for him in the past 2 rounds. Pickles finally looking to mop things up, and a bomb plant for uFrag as well.
Another one.
Win-win for them, an ace for Pickles.
Yeah, non-armor opponent. It's not really that much of an impact. It will pad his stats slightly.
I think I'll take it.
Oh, he'll definitely take it, especially for the money as well. Let's take a look at the frags. 16, 14 for Pickles, 13 for Dancies. Peggy 6 for 13, but so far he hasn't really needed to step up in this game.
What I like about the scoreboard is, for the most part, it's relatively balanced. It's not just one guy stepping up and going 36-12 or whatever to carry them through to the end. It's a nice balanced scoreboard. Yes, there are a couple of players sitting down behind, but then you can always argue they're fulfilling their own job as well.
Something to talk about, players filling their role. He's Dom. He's only on 6 frags, and yes, Adam had a poor showing in terms of frags in the first map, but what Adam brings to a team isn't his individual skill. Communication, comms, calls, the work he puts in. Brain, yes, exactly. Dom, on the other hand, isn't quite the smartest player. He's more of that hot-headed, really intense aim, really fast-flicking sort of aim, lots of frags. And right now, without the frags, does bode the question, what is he giving uFrag in this game?
We talked about this at the start of the fire and ice sort of setup. Well, he can be as hot as boiling temperature at some point, but he can also be just that sub-zero temperature where he just doesn't quite get anything done. That's the two direct contrasts, and unfortunately, uFrag, they just have to handle it. Adam stepping up, it does the job. Dom actually going to find the first pick. Tommy, a quick second on towards JT, so as much as we may knock, still, he finds that opening. It's enough. uFrag, they have control of the B site. Xenex, pitch for a retake. Peggy caught towards vents. Hype, there is the cue of that frag. Pickles straight through the shade away. Why not?
Is it a save? Yes, it shall be. So Xenex saved this 9-10. Xenex still 1 round in the lead. Their money is still strong though, so they will have a buy into the next one. If uFrag lose this,
it could be pretty painful, suffice to say, if uFrag lose this. I think that certainly is a point that has to be merited straight off the bat, because their economy is going to be in tatters. Are we going to see a very fast-paced uFrag where they just push on towards these sites nice and quickly? You know, always very concurrent to the way they've been
highly
splitting?
doubt it.
Or is it going to be the de facto standard, as you mentioned, the historic uFrag, where they're nice and slow and well thought out? Because, to be honest, thinking about uFrag's T side, my one concern can sometimes be just how slow they can tender, which, for Xenex, that's something they can open up to, especially with the double op setup, which they're now fielding.
We mentioned in the previous half, the 2 orcs does destroy your economy if it doesn't work out for you. But let's talk about the T-side play. They're slow and steady, but there's also executes to play with, as these players are drilled. They have been playing with Dom for a few weeks. Shaney, will he catch the hand of Adam? He saw the scope! Adam the pre-fire puts him to 50 HP, and now they know exactly where he is. He flashes and gets out. That's smart. Can he get any frags? No, he can't, because there's a nice shot there from Pommy. 1-man lead already for uFrag.
Pickles absolutely pivots over towards quad. A lot of work for him to achieve as he finds himself his first back, second, and potentially even a third, and he gets away with it. Eventually will be traded out by Hype as Pommy tries to claw things back, but is it going to be enough? A 2v2. The cards have well and truly been pitched. The tent of Pickles is going to be there to try and make it work, or Pommy, should I say. Nonetheless, he's over towards Card, got that orb, and it's going to be bearing down on towards the position, flicks towards Forklift. It's going to be a 1-for-1 affair. Now it's 2 orbs facing off against each other. The peak is going to come out from a Hype. He's holding the angle. He knows exactly what is being done, but they both respectively miss the shots. Darcy, he goes for the repeak, and he gets away with it. A round back for Xenex.
They got the bomb down though. Money in terms of uFrag. Let's take a look at it going into this round. I believe they still have the buy.
As much as they got the bomb down, it's still heartbreaking to see it go that direction, because you look at their economy.
You say that, but the thing is, you've got to think about how, I don't want to say lucky, or I want to say how unfortunate that frag was for JT, because
for sure.
He's spraying him down, Pommy crutches up, instantly flicks him. 9 out of 10 times, I really do feel like JT wins that. You can talk about it being heartbreaking for uFrag, but I feel like it's more heartbreaking for Xenex if they had lost that.
The build-up.
I don't want to say the I don't want to say the scoreline for PC reasons. Got to be politically correct here, but anyway. 11-9 is the scoreline in favor of Xenex.
Still, a whole lot of pent-up aggression from the side of uFrag, looking like Dom and Pommy want to combine and yet again be this dynamic duo as they field their way through that pit of B main, and from there, the closer they get, the tougher the task, but also the bigger the reward, because the reward is that B site. That's where they want to get themselves on. And it has been their old faithful, if we're fair. It's where they've been going quite a lot of the time, and it's worked, but also
when they had the first frag.
Yeah, they have to get that first pick, and that's where the double-edged sword lies. Or lies, should we say. Darcy sitting ever so daintily perched in the edge of that smoke, and he could be so strong in the way he approaches this. As we're actually seeing a bit of a reverse boost come out from uFrag. Clearly a separate game plan, and this is where Shaney now gets to shine a light of his own.
Yeah, the bomb. Adam had the bomb. That gives it away that they are not going for an execute towards the site just yet. 2 frags found in mid right now. Dom though. Dom versus 1, he wins it. That's a nice headshot, but instantly traded up by Dancy's. 2 versus 4. Hype on the AWP. He needs to find a pick here. Nice and slow. Play contact off his AWP. The problem is though, Shaney is holding that angle. Oh, that's a nice play there. Baits out the shot, Shaney whiffs it, and now it's all down to Dances on this B-bomb site. Peeks out, but Hype gets that shot. And Dances falls. 15 seconds left. 2 versus 3. 7 HP, this might be a dunk. No, it's not, because Hype is right now under heaven, watching towards the vent, but he's jumping around. Can Peggy catch him off guard?
Making a whole lot of noise. Flashes are going to go off. Peggy is going to push, but Hype gets the no-scope. Cray finds one of his own. Shaney will tap on away with the pistol. He's 100 HP. Cray has fallen, of course, but it is Hype. 7 HP as well on his name, and just so low at this point, and it just makes it so easy for Shaney to tap with that pistol.
That was well played.
Well played, and there's certainly a huge amount of factors that play into things. Cray, of course, Dom, 2 names that still sit upon my lips, but nonetheless, it's a round for Xenex.
The jump there, Hype, you saw what happened as soon as Shaney made the jump noise. He started peeking out because he thinks that Shaney's fallen down. Instead, Shaney baits out Hype there and wins it with the P250.
Not sure if this is technical or
yeah,
tactical.
Yeah, it's technical. Tactical timeout for uFrag. Right now, what they've been doing has not been working. Going towards the B site worked initially, but Dantes was giving away his frag at that point. Now he's playing more passive. The same cannot be said. They're not winning those rounds towards B. Instead, I believe they should go more towards mid.
Well, mid on cash is, if you take control of mid, you can go anywhere on the map.
Yeah, highway especially. If you're the AWP, if you're Adam, smoke off connector, get out boost fast, peek the same as we saw Shaney do. Peek connector, peek white box, peek towards the sandbags there. If you have control of mid, go to white box and face quad.
Well, you talk about mid, and feel free to interject here, and if you want to dig on 20 points specifically, but we actually saw that peek come in from Adam, right? And the problem with that was he had a bomb. But without the bomb and anything like that, that actually could have been fairly useful, because then Dom had a position that was completely unexpected. They had no idea someone was pushed out that far into B. But then there's the element of the fact that Dantes was tucked into that corner. If you take away that player tucked into corner, we could have saw an impact frag that then led Dom to push in towards CT. We could have saw something, albeit very advanced. But it's a whole lot of what ifs.
JT wouldn't have been in the position he was if Dances wasn't there. He wouldn't be holding off towards checkers if Dances wasn't watching B main. Instead, he'll be default, hiding, watching B main. So even though Dom came out of checkers, he wouldn't have been able to see JT. I hope, anyway. That makes sense in my head.
I can see what you're getting at. It certainly makes sense. You know, of course, there's still the counterpoint of perhaps Dom will just push straight through into CT. But either way,
who knows?
It's a whole lot of what ifs yet again, and it's a theoretic at that. But nonetheless, it is a 9-12 scoreline. uFrag, they need to make a change, and it's a smart portion of them to make a change now.
Yeah, and it's not too late.
It's not too late, and I think that's the biggest factor, because a lot of teams, they do fall into that trap. They get lured to take a pause, you know, when we're looking at 15-13 and such, when they have no money. So it's all about timing it perfectly. And right now, uFrag, they don't have any money in the context of this. They're in what more than likely shapes up to be an eco. But we're looking at what? If they eco here, 9-13. From there, uFrag, they can go into that buy. They win that round. They can start to break down through Xenex yet again. And from there, well, we can look to see the comeback happen 12-12. That's not that big of a difference.
For me, the comeback has to happen if they break the money of Xenex.
Yeah.
And right now, Xenex money is awful. So the question is, do you force right now and try and break that economy, make it 10-12, play them on the eco, 11-12.
Well, you talk about forcing. Let's look at their money then. So
12, it could be 12-12. If they win this round, it could be 12-12. The problem is they need to win that, and that's the call right now. Do we force or do we save?
5,450 on Pommy, Cray with $4,000 as well. The more complex is the three players, the core top three of Adam, Dom, and Hype, because they are on the lower amounts. Now, you know, it has to be said, what can they actually do with that amount of economy? Because 3,000,
they're forcing it.
That's Tech 9s, that's utility. They are going to be forcing it, as we can see.
I like the call, though. I do like this call. If they win this round, 12-12. As long as they don't mess up any of the ecos.
If they don't.
If they don't, we could be seeing Xenex in the playoffs.
That also has to be said, if they don't. The complete, yet again, double-edged side.
Yep.
3 Tech 9s, 2 AK-47s. uFrag, well, our prayers are with you, because this is all or nothing for you. You have to make this one work. They begin to set themselves up for what looks like an A execute. Clean at that. uFrag.
So, 3 Tech 9s, 2 AKs. Allow the AKs to peek onto the side after the smoke fade. Or will they go for the fast execute? Let's see what happens. Tech 9 surely jump out forklift. Let's see. Molly out from Peggy. Holding the line now with an SMG. Sees the first player sprays. Doesn't quite get too much going on, but does find the frag. Dom falls. Adam the reply. Takes him down. Now it's the 4 versus 4. These players on the side. The AKs are there too. But the CTs, they're smoked off and the retakes will happen. Look at the economy as well. Or the utility rather. Pickles on the Molotov. He should be a Molly in quad or forklift. His decision right now. But he throws it slightly too early because the retake hasn't started just yet. Those smokes are still there, so I don't really agree with that Molotov. But the spray comes through. Pobby nails JT through the smoke and Pickles almost with the reply. But instead, down to the Mag 7, jumping through that smoke. Let's see what we can make happen. Jumping, catches the head of Pommy there. But it's Cray to open up the squeaky door and find the frag onto Pickles. Now Adam darting around this quad site, catches him. Dart is flashed off. Caught off guard. Shaney now in the 1 versus 3. Falls as Hype peeks out. They win the force. And now look at the money on Xenex. Yeah, 2,000. And right now they're going to force this. Are they going to force this? JT's a 1.4. Surely they force this.
Oh, what's left to be said while we wait to see their decision is the what if of uFrag. What if they lose?
They're actually going to say this.
Well,
so they win.
They win.
This means JT will have a FAMAS or a UMP into the next round. Fair play. I mean, what difference does the M4 and the FAMAS have? Yes, it's quite a big difference in the firepower, but is it worth a whole round? Anyway, Cray holding for the squeaky push. See what happens.
uFrag got their eyes well and truly set on towards mid this time around, as Dom just going to be sitting ever so tightly on boost, and this is about them making sure that they don't see any fancy aggression from Xenex in terms of these boost dives or anything vent related and such. So I do like what they're doing. It's about them making sure they can keep things together, because right now we're seeing a squeaky push. Now they're not quite checking for that. That could catch them off guard. That could be the side line, because A main is going to be peaked. Hype there to clean the life of Peggy, and bit by bit players are beginning to be punched on down. How far are uFrag willing to go, and most importantly, are they still watching their behind? Looking for that headshot on towards Shane. He gets it with ease. Looking towards Car now, and they need to just keep flicking all over the place. They do it with nice, comfortable success. A good, clean round coming out from uFrag, which is most important because of their economy, because we knew that force was a risk. Once they're on that buy, they want to stop stabilizing it, apply a band-aid to the economy,
save.
Get themselves to 5,750 on Dom, for example. And especially now with another save coming out from Xenex, this is prime time territory for uFrag to make this happen, because unless we're going to see these deagles go huge, which
yeah, it's
hold
a
my
risk,
breath on that one.
and it's definitely worked out. I said if they won that round, we could be seeing 12-12, unless JT with this PT50 can work magic. We shall be seeing the equalised scoreline.
Pommy begins to worm his way out through mid, looking for that initial pick, and yet again gets it on towards Peggy. Of course, there is that concerning factor of just how close the CD sides still are, and JT will find one, but I don't know, not quite really enough. Dante has to go huge. He's unable to succeed, of course. It's just on the pistol, so can't expect too much, but nonetheless, it is the result expected. uFrag, they get themselves to 12-12, and from there, their economy going to be in such a prime spot in comparison. Xenex, they say first, they put their all into getting here. They've allowed uFrag to equalize things. A double op setup, it better be worth it.
Especially because if they lose this, uFrag will finally be in, well, not finally be in the lead, but for the
They're in the
second
driver's
half,
seat, most
for
importantly.
for the second half, they will finally be in the lead. Especially because of the money as well. If they win this, we could be Xenex going down. Sorry, uFrag going up to 14, and Xenex staying at 12. Nothing too fancy coming out, but there is no T players towards B. But there's also no one pushing on Xenex side towards B, so still stalemate. Third Molotov there. Means that Peggy will not be flushed out when he catches God. Dom wins it. Any more frags to come? Let's see. Cray sprays that player, but JT finds one, instantly tread out by Dom. In a flurry of seconds, we're looking at a 4 versus 2 and a 2-man lead for uFrag, and we might be seeing them knock Xenex not out of the playoffs, but not allow them into the playoffs.
At the end of the day, it is still a key being turned and a lock being tightened, as if they don't get there, they don't get there, no matter the means. And uFrag, well, out of spite or just the fact they want the money, nonetheless, they're playing for this one. They want it, as Dancy is going to find a first. And a quick second now, looking for a third. Hype is going to shut him down up close and personal. But Shaney, he's still there standing. And by all means, he's not just going to let them have it. He's going to be there to really try and shut them down, as he's now looking to decide, okay, do I want to go aggressive through this smoke? Do I want to bide my time? As the Molotov is going to be there to replace the afterthought of the smoke. He's got a smoke of his own as well, bear in mind, but doesn't quite have an upgraded sidearm, so USP is what he'll have to whip out if he decides to go up close and personal. Can just decide to stay scoped in as well, as he is just going to sit bit by bit. Needs to realize that a player could be headshot. He does drop down that smoke, and he's going to go for the quick face. Goes for a huge no-scope, but Cray is going to find the headshot, and uFrag Dreams, they're saved. 13-12 is going to be the scoreline. You can certainly tell uFrag here are scared for a second, and we might be on the edge of our seats, but it still is uFrag in the driver's seat as expected.
We're standing up, we're already sitting down.
Xenex, they have no money. Yet again, they're back on the save. We have armor on towards Pickles. But that Kevlar, that smoke on JT, the value really isn't going to be there. They're trying to, of course, do some damage. But we're getting closer and closer to the end. Dom looking for that first pick and gets it.
He does indeed. Already the 1-man lead for uFrag. Xenex allowing uFrag to hit that 14, that magical 14. They're going to need 4 rounds in a row if they want to avoid overtime. That's a big ask, because Hype has found another frag in mid. Shaney falls. Looks like we're looking at 14-12, and at that point, it's anyone's game.
Tommy just going to find another on towards Dancy's, and every single frag means something to these players, because every frag they find there's just that extra bit of confidence instilled into them that, you know what, they can do this. It's that voice in the back of their mind saying, you've got this, you can make it work. And for uFrag, that has such a huge effect on them as individuals and as a whole team. So this is just everything they want at this point. Peggy will try and go for a bit of a counterplay through the smoke and do some more damage, and will get himself a pick. But yet again, it is going to be Cray to tray things back out. And there is the scoreline, 14-12. Xenex, perhaps what could be their last and almost final hurrah with these rifles. The true testing point. They have an option. Do they want an AWP to be bought? Darcy's can make that decision. He's going to opt for just a rifle instead. So 5 flat rifles. They've got strong utility. But this is it for them. This is where they have to put up on a show. Xenex, all eyes are on you.
No AWP, so we may be seeing some aggression coming out from the CT side, but it's looking like they want to play passive and allow the T's to walk into them. Adam with the AWP, he will have time to find a pick here and there, but it's looking like the execute towards A. And it's Pickles here to hold the line. Throws and chucks out the HE grenade, so they may know where he is. They're still smoked off. Peggy now from heaven. Can he find any frags? They'll spot the players out, so they know it's A. Flashed off multiple times, though. Spot the players out. Gets one. It's going to be Pickles there. Finds the frag onto Pommy, but it's Pickles with the second one. Great. And Hype to try and do this. Gets one, but the spray does not connect to that second player. Pickles takes him. Third for him this round. Hype in the 1 versus 3. We've seen him doing amazing things in this best of 2, and he gets one. Can he get the second? And following that, the third.
So it looks like he has an inkling on where both of these players are going to be, but how is he going to read this one? He's got 50 seconds on the clock. Is he going to go for that quick first frag and from there play for a plant? Is he going to try and whip through the shadows and head over to the realm that is the B site? So many opportunities, but there is a decision. Gets himself in a main and through there now looking to decide, okay, do I want to double back here? Do I want to try and play from this angle? And that could be an overthinking or not. The question remains, is he going to get away with it? As he peeks on out, looking still for just another pick on towards JT. That would be the ideal target for him now. On towards Highway, spots him out, but JT too quick on the trigger. Nice and concise, a headshot for him. And Xenex, that was their moment to shine. And they lit up bright, dead set like a Christmas tree, doing everything they need to do. 14-13. uFrag, they're not out of the running by a long shot. They still have the economy to keep on buying. But yet again, now they're feeling the heat and that voice we hyped up so much.
I think CX are the ones feeling the heat right now. uFrag, they have nothing to gain from this apart from the money.
Xenex on the flip side, even more so important for them.
This is really important for Xenex. Let's see if they play their heart out. JT with a nice shot there to finish off the round. Hype, we've seen him win the 1 versus 5s. That 1 versus 3 was a bit too much of a tall task to ask. But anyway, utility thrown towards mid, but there's no smokes. So Shani shall face now and see nothing. Once he's seen nothing, he's probably going to rotate. But it's all down to JT and Dancy's at this B-bomb site. No AWP though, so that angle's a bit hard to hold with the rifle. But so far, there's no utility. On the T's, it's just CT utility. And they're both in the same corner. This is looking messy. So tense right now.
uFrag bunched up in towards Checkers. Still that same old metaphor of just a ball of aggression. But how does that extend? Where is that going to perforate as they begin to go for a peek? It's going to be a drive-by on towards JT, a pick from Adam up towards Heaven, and everything is beginning to form into place. Pommy, a pick back on towards Dancy's. Xenex, Pickles, and Peggy, they are their last hopes at this point. As uFrag, just 2 kills away from getting themselves to 15. Xenex, of course, they have to save. That's a given.
They're going for OT. This is a smart call. You're not going to win that 2 versus 5 retake on the B-bomb side. Instead, they're going to play for the OT, and they need to right now. Only 2 rounds required for them, but it's 1 round for uFrag to not knock them out, but not allow Xenex into the playoffs.
I mean, in all intents and purposes, it is just a clean punch to the forehead, a knockout out of that.
Yep.
Cray is going to at least try and just punish further and further. His life is going to be claimed. Pickles, of course, will look to get away, but he's also being hunted. 1 HP. And there is no weaponry now. The big question is economy.
Oh, God.
I can see those numbers. They're not numbers that I want to be seeing.
The lights are on right now. Production think it's up. Do you think it's over?
Looking at this buy, this is almost just a factory reset for Xenex at this point. They would have to go absolutely huge with these Deagles, and it's got to be said, there's such a low chance of that happening, especially when you look at the setups they're trying to take right now. They're banking on some aggression towards the B side, but the only ones being aggressive are them on their CT side. Is Dom. He's hungry, but he's also waiting for it. He's being patient in himself, and this is good enough. JT, of course, going to be looking to hug that box. If uFrag keep approaching this one with a smart head on, they should be able to take this one easily at this point.
A smart head should be one that mollies. Good nade there, expecting where JT is. Molly goes back behind backpoint. Pommy jumping out, spots the player. JT falls. And now the lead is in favor of uFrag. Let's see if they can keep it. Shenny gets 1, Shenny gets 2! Dancy's though, trying to get the refrag. Yes, he does. It's a 3 versus 2. Adam with the AWP. Cray with the AK. Don't face! What are you doing? Oh my god, the timing is in favor of Dancy's right now.
Stuck in the corner though. This is even more uncomfortable.
Ooh,
Cray
that's an
knocked down
AK.
to 26 HP. A flash is going off, but Adam, he's holding the angle. Or even surprised he doesn't want to try and wall-bang his way through this one at this point. Is he just going to be pushing up close and personal, taking the fight straight to Dancy's? Oh, he's just debating if he wants to go for the
No,
shot, but he gets the tag, and from there, that's not quite enough. He is going to fall. And
Oh
Xenex, they're in a 3v1. uFrag, you were right there. You had the setup, you had the read, you knew exactly what you needed to do. But you've only got him through it all away. It's all on Cray. The rifle in his back pocket, but he's
My
going to be dropped dead
goodness.
by Peggy. 15-14.
Shenny is worth his weight in gold for those 2 famous frags. Change the outcome of the game, the half, maybe of the season. 15-14, Xenex now. They want this so bad to put themselves into the playoffs. To make it to those LAN finals.
uFrag didn't need to do that. They had themselves set up. They were waiting for the pushes. If they were just more patient and more concise about the way they approached it, could have a complete different narrative. But off the back of finding that first pick, they thought, you know what, let's push. Let's not realize that if he's playing that close to a box, there's got to be a crossfire setup. That is almost just a basic knowledge at this point. It's just so uncomfortable and brutal to watch because they were right there, right on the cusp of making it work and getting to 16. But now, Xenex, they've been revitalized because they know they can keep up fighting. Adam already knocked down to
no, he's on the
39
wall.
HP. Dancy's to 37 for himself. uFrag are looking to readjust over towards mid as they've got their bomb, and it looks like the A site is going to be the target of choice. But can they hold as Cray if he opens that door? Peggy, ready and waiting.
Good call here to head towards A. On uFrag's side, as Dancy's having the AWP towards B would have caused them so many problems. We saw the last time they went B versus Dancy's AWP, he found 2 frags. Let's see if these Xenex teammates can do the same.
Adam could be so huge in this position. He needs to find both shots. He can't afford to miss.
No.
He finds the first, but he doesn't check highway. He's going to pay the price for that. Peggy will take him down. Hype's going to push over towards Forklift. But how is this going to work? They don't have much information now. The CT side forced to back off through the smokes. And things
Pressure's
are going to
on.
begin to run on down, but this pressure is almost certainly going to be on a retake. Has to be pitch perfect from Xenex. Dom peeking up in towards Amy and Peggy beginning to formulate his push through the smoke as well. And it is a rather nice wall for the CT side to work with, but it comes down to who wants to land the shots as JT begins his push. It's a double man set up over towards quad. JT going to keep on pushing up close and personal. He's pre-firing. He finds the first. The quick trade coming in. Cray finds just another on towards Peggy. Peggy will fall. Pickles next in line. Dancy's the last man remaining. And there it is. 16-14. But uFrag, you cut that one so damn close. But nonetheless, they do get the win. Again, my heart goes out to Xenex because that was an incredible match of Counter-Strike.